Hey everyone, now that you guys took a little bit of notes on your own, I figured I would do a follow-up and just help you figure out what all these numbers mean, especially if you're still a little confused. So this will be a good video to watch just to get a better understanding of a stock quote. So I'm going to walk you through it, and then feel free to ask questions if they come up. So the stock quote is going to look a little different every time. There's going to be new numbers. The chart may look different, but the overall setup is the same. So at the top of every stock quote, you're going to see a few pieces of information. And those few pieces of information is you're going to see the name of the company, the market in which they trade on, which would be the NASDAQ. This may say the New York Stock Exchange at some point. And you're going to see the ticker symbol. The ticker symbol is just an abbreviated name for that company. So Apple's would be AAPL. And the reason they have the abbreviations is it makes it easier for you guys to search stocks without having to type out the full name. Now, some ticker symbols do make sense with the company. So AAPL makes sense, but others may not, like Southwest Airlines is LUV. So sometimes you'll be able to tell the company by the ticker symbol, sometimes you won't be able to. In addition to that first line, okay, so right under the company name, ticker symbol, and the exchange they trade on, you're going to see some important numbers, okay? So that first big, bold, black number, the largest number on the stock quote, is going to be the current price. And that is the price that the stock is trading at right now, okay? So $109.86. The number to the right of it is going to either be red or green. This is the difference between the stock price right now and what it closed at 4 p.m. yesterday. So it is going to be up or down from yesterday. And according to this stock quote, it is down $1.93 or 1.73%. So this is the number, the difference between the current price right now and the stock quote, what it closed at, what the very last trade was at yesterday at 4 p.m. when the stock market closed in New York. Also, like I mentioned earlier, you're also going to see the exchange in which it's traded on. NASDAQ and the NYSE, which stands for the New York Stock Exchange, are going to be the two most popular exchanges that you see listed. Moving on. Another set of numbers that you are going to see on the stock quote is the previous close and the open. Basically, these two numbers represent what the stock closed at the previous trading day. So again, at 4 o'clock yesterday, the last trade was $111.79. And the open price is the price that it was traded at for the very first time of the current day. So at 8:30 a.m. So you have the previous close and the open. You'll notice that they're very similar. They may be off by a few cents, and that is just because of overnight trading online. It kind of adjusts it. But for the most part, they are going to be very similar. So it's the close from yesterday at 4 p.m. and what it opened at the current trading day, the very first trade of the day. Next, you have the 1-year target estimate. Now, I wouldn't live your life by this number. It's based on opinions of analysts of what they think the price will reach in 1 year. I think they're sometimes overly optimistic. Yes, it's good to know what analysts think, but you should be doing your own homework. So for this particular stock quote, Apple, they think is going to reach $147.37 at the end of the year. If they were always right, people could just gamble on this number, but analysts can be wrong too. So this is just an estimate. You can use it in your evaluation, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket just based on this number alone. All right, so now we have the days range and the 52-week range. I like the 52-week range, and I'll explain why. But before I go there, let's talk about the days range. This is the low and the high for that specific day. So if today was Tuesday, it would be the lowest it got on Tuesday and the highest it got on Tuesday. you'll see that these numbers are not going to vary much because it's just within one trading day. So the lowest the stock went was 109.56. The highest it went was 111.52. Okay, not much differentiation there. The number I do like is the 52-week range. And this is the lowest and the highest price it got last year. So 52 weeks in a year, that's how it got its name. So the low for last year was 92. The lowest Apple got was $92. And the highest it reached last year was $134.54. The reason I personally like this number is because if I was going to invest in Apple and it was trading really high, so say it was trading currently at 135, I can look at the last year's numbers and see how close I am to the last high, because it may give me an indication like, is this stock already maxed out? Can it really go higher? Or did I miss my opportunity? So I like the 52-week range because it shows me the lowest it got and the highest it got last year. And I can use that number when trying to figure out if the stock currently is priced at a good price and has potential to grow. So the days range is for the current day that you're like currently in. And then the 52-week range is the prices from last year, the high and the low. Volume, this is a good number to look at just to see kind of the popularity and how it's trading so far that day. Volume is the amount of shares that have just traded hands in the most current day. So as of today, 23 million times it was traded. So 23,846,664. Some companies are heavily traded. The volume average for the 3 months, the second number, is just looking at the average trading volume over the last 3 months. So they add all of them together and get the average. So you can see how it does on average. This is good because you can kind of see if the volume currently is just an oddity. Maybe it isn't like this every day, or if it's pretty consistent. So volume just shows you how many shares were traded on that current day, the day that you are currently looking at. All right, market cap. This stands for market capitalization, and this number is a little little hard to compute. But basically, what it is, it's the total dollar value of all the company's outstanding shares. So outstanding shares just means all the shares still out there available for purchase. Not every share is owned. So not every share of Apple is owned by someone. Some are still out in circulation. So if you take the current price of Apple and multiply it by how many shares are still out there to purchase, that is going to give you the market cap. And Apple's market cap is $626.5 billion. That B stands for billion. So that just shows the total dollar value of all the shares still out there. We are going to skip PE and EPS for right now. I am going to dedicate a whole day to these two numbers, so just stay tuned for that. All right. Dividend, we already have a good understanding of what it is, but you guys know that some companies do offer dividends and some do not. In this case, Apple at the time was offering $2.08, and they're paid out quarterly, typically, and 4 quarters in a year, just like 4 quarters in a dollar, so every 3 months. And it's paid out to their shareholders. And it just depends on how many shares you own. So if you own 1 share of Apple, you would get a check for $2.08. So it just depends on how many shares you currently own. That will decipher the amount of dividends that you are paid out. Yield is that number just represented in a percentage. So this is your return on your investment. So 1.85% you're getting back. Okay, there is a video here if you guys want to watch it to get a better understanding. You can watch that on your own. And then we will also talk about yield at a later date. Okay, I think that's it. Yep, all of this we will talk about very soon. Now, I want to end this video by telling you guys that these numbers individually don't mean anything. they tell a story when they're all put together. So there's not one number on this stock quote that is going to be the magic number where you're like, yes, if I do it, I'm going to make money. You have to put them all together. Just think of them as a puzzle. Individually, they don't really hold much value, but when you piece them all together, it starts to tell a story about the stock. And that's what gives you guys a better understanding if that stock is a good investment. So hopefully this video was able to answer some of your questions. We are now going to apply what you guys learned to a worksheet. So you guys will be able to, kind of check your understanding. So we will take care of that shortly.